So I kind of just wanted to just talk about dragon names, and I haven't uploaded a video in like a really long time, unless you count the one that is 20 seconds long. So I'm just gonna make a video of me talking about the names of dragons. I'm not gonna bother writing a script for this one since I think I can just do it unscripted. But I just wanted to talk about the names of dragons and like where they come from. Like there are so many cool dragon names out there, so I figured I'd just talk about it, you know? And there are dragons that are like I'll be talking about like all sorts of different types of dragon names, like what they're named after. Like there are dragons that are named after all sorts of things. So let's just kind of get started. There are dragons that are named after nouns or ideas or concepts or objects. Some examples would be Glory, Blaze, Deepshade, just dragons that are named after something. Then you got like Norse dragon names, like Hefend, Jormungandr, Nidhogg. They're just named by the Norse Vikings. Tolkien, who wrote Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, he named a lot of dragons. You got dragons like Smaug, Scaffa, Glaurung. He had some pretty good names, actually. There's Game of Thrones, which are dragons named by George R. R. Martin, the writer of Game of Thrones, or A Song of Ice and Fire, I think it's actually called. Game of Thrones was the show, A Song of Ice and Fire was the book. But some examples are Caraxes, Cyrax, and Balerion. They're not really named after anything, but there's also a few dragons from Game of Thrones that are actually named after objects, like or ideas like Sunfire, Moondancer, Sea Smoke, and then you just have Cannibal. Yeah, there's a dragon in Game of Thrones named Cannibal. Pretty interesting. I mean, it's a fitting name because he eats other dragons. But there's also D&D dragons that I wanted to talk about from Dungeons and Dragons, Bahamut and Tiamat, which are actually from old myths about like the creation of the world back in Sumerian times, which is pretty cool. In Destiny 2, there are these dragons called Ahamkara, which are named by the Awoken, which is a group of people who named these dragons. You got Azurim, Ao, Riven of a Thousand Voices. And while we're on the topic of dragons with titles, a lot of dragons actually do have titles. Like, you've got Riven of a Thousand Voices, Balerion the Black Dread, Ankalagon the Black. And a lot of these dragons have black in their titles, actually. But it's really interesting how dragons have black in their name, because black is typically associated with like dread. And I mean, you have Balerion, the Black Dread. And there's another dragon from the Bronze Crown. Actually, this is kind of a bit of a spoiler for the book that hasn't come out yet. There's a dragon. I won't tell you his name, actually, but there's a dragon his name is Blank the Black Prince. I'm not telling you his name because that'd be like a hella spoiler, but his title is the Black Prince, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, I just wanted to turn on my voice recording and talk about dragons for a couple minutes. So yeah, I'll show my script on screen now. It's not really a script, it's just a list of things I wanted to talk about. And yeah, guess I'll see you guys next time. See ya.